Hello everyone. In this video we are going to learn that this is an LCR series circuit and how much is the power consumed by this circuit in one complete cycle. And another thing we are going to learn is what is the meaning of condition of resonance. So in order to understand these two things, we first of all will draw a phasor diagram. We have already done phasor diagrams for the pure inductive and the pure capacitive circuit, so we know what is a phasor diagram. And now I will draw a phasor diagram for LCR series circuit. We know for the resistor, the voltage and current both are in phase with each other. So this is what I have drawn for the resistor. And here I am drawing the voltage across the inductor. We know the voltage across the inductor is given by current into the reactance offered by the inductor, which is given by XL. So I will draw I into XL over here, which is VL. And I have drawn it here because voltage leads current by a phase angle of pi by 2 in case of an inductor. So we can draw it like this. Similarly, for the case of a capacitor, since voltage lags behind the inductor by a phase of pi by 2, so I am drawing this vector like this, I into XC. This is the voltage across the capacitor. Now, in this circuit, we can assume, just for solving it, we can assume that let XL be greater than XC. That is, the reactance offered by the inductor be more than the reactance offered by the capacitor. Now, if I assume it like this, and I is the current flowing through the circuit, then it means that I into XL will be greater than I into XC. That is, the voltage across the inductor will be greater than the voltage across the capacitor. Now, these voltages have been shown by two vectors which are drawn in the opposite directions. So, I will make another vector over here which is equal to I into XL minus XC. So from this bigger vector, I have subtracted this smaller vector, and let us say this is the resultant of IXL minus XC. So this is the resultant vector. So it means that this is the voltage VL minus VC. Okay, and obviously we have considered XL to be greater than XC, therefore the voltage is leading the current. But now, in order to find out by how much angle is voltage leading the current, we will have to draw a parallelogram like this. This is a parallelogram. This was the voltage across the resistor. This is the voltage across VL minus VC. And the resultant of these two can be drawn by using the parallelogram law of vectors. And this is the resultant. This is the resultant. So this is the, you can say, it is the resultant of this voltage vector and this voltage vector. And this angle, you can name it as phi. So the voltage now is leading, the resultant voltage now is leading the current by a phase angle of phi. So this is what we have drawn over here. Now, we can write down the expression for voltage and current from this phasor diagram, because we know voltage has been given as V is equal to V naught sine omega t. This is the voltage that we have applied. And current, we can see here, is lagging behind by a phase angle of phi. So I can write down I is equal to I naught sine of omega t minus phi. That current is lagging behind the voltage by a phase angle of phi. So this is one way of writing it down. But you can also consider another case in which we can say that, let us assume XC is greater than XL. So if this is the condition, then obviously I into XC will be greater than I into XL, and instead of the vector over here, I will get a resultant vector here in this direction, and in this case the current will be leading the voltage like this, like this. So now the current will be leading the voltage because the resultant voltage will be this much and the current is already here. So if this is the angle phi, then voltage is leading the current. It means for this case we could have written I is equal to I naught sine of omega t plus phi. We could have written it like this. So in general what we can do is we will use this expression and this expression and can say that phi will be positive if this is the condition and phi will be negative if this is the condition. So this is how we interpret the phasor diagram for an LCR series circuit, that voltage can lead or lag behind the current depending upon which component of the circuit, inductor or capacitor, is more than each other, so that we may know that either VL is greater than VC or VC is greater than VL, and depending upon that we can decide for the sign of phi. So now we can write, I'm just erasing the board, and now we have two expressions with us. One is with V and one expression we have is for the I. So I am writing these two expressions once again, that V is equal to V naught sine omega t and I is equal to I naught sine omega t plus phi, and I've already told you that phi can be taken as positive or negative depending upon which of the two is greater or lesser. I mean VL is greater than VC or VC is greater than VL. Now what we can do is we want to find out what is the average power taken from the source or delivered by the source during this one cycle of the AC in an LCR series circuit. Now we know how to find out the average power delivered. So this is given by 1 by T. To integrate the expression for this and this product, we get V naught sine omega t into I naught sine omega t plus phi into dt. So this expression has to be integrated over time for one complete cycle and divided by the complete time period. This will give me the power consumed by the circuit in one complete cycle. So now using my integration for this expression and the trigonometric rules, I can write it like this: 0 to t, V naught and I naught are constant, so I can already write them down here because V naught and I naught are constants. So they can already be pulled out of the integration sign. So we can write it like this. So this is sine omega t, then sine omega t plus phi, and then dt. So this is what it is. And now we will open this sine A plus B as sine omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sin phi, because sin A plus B is sin A cos B plus cos A sin B, and this has to be taken in product with sin omega t. So it gives us sin square omega t cos phi plus sin omega t cos omega t will give us sin 2 omega t by 2, and then we have sin phi. I have almost used all the trigonometric relationships which could be used here to simplify it and to be able to integrate it. Then we have to integrate both the expressions, so therefore I am taking the integration sign here also, and I am taking the integration sign here also. I missed out dt, so I am writing it down here. So this is V naught I naught by t, and average power consumed over the cycle is this much. Now all of us know that cos phi is constant and sin phi is constant because phase angle phi would have some value, and obviously depending upon that value, cos phi and sin phi will have some of the mathematical value, numeric value, and they can be taken outside the integration. And then if cos phi is outside this, so we will be left with sin square omega t dt inside the integral, and we have done it in the case of the inductor and in previous cases also, that the integration of sine square theta d theta is always half. So we will write down half, and then you can also solve it by putting the limits. So you will get t by 2 over here. Here sin phi will come out, and sin 2 theta will give an integration 0. So the result of this complete integration is 0, and we have done it in the class while we were doing it for the power consumed in the complete cycle when the AC is applied across the resistor. So all this we have already done. I am just using those formula over here. So this will give me t by 2, this will give me 0. So I have V naught I naught by t into this much. Hence average power consumed is this much. Now t cancels with t, and I have V naught I naught by 2. So this is the average power consumed, and I have cos phi also. I had missed it out here. So cos phi is also one of the term along with this. Now further I can write the average power consumed in the complete cycle as V naught by 2 can be written as this, and this I have taken 2 as root 2 into root 2, so that I may be able to write it in the terms of RMS. We know V naught by root 2 is VRMS, I naught by root 2 is IRMS, so it is this much into cos phi. So average power consumed in an AC cycle is given by this much. Now this is the real power taken from the source, right? And this is the power which we assume is you can say which we consume, and this factor cos phi is known as the power factor. Now how can we understand this particular power factor? What is the role of this power factor? So I am just making it possible for all of you to understand this. So what I am saying is that we, when use any device at our home, we pay bill for this power, for the real power that is taken from the source. So this is what we pay for, okay, and this is what we actually consume, right? Now let us say that we have taken 1000 watts from the source. So we are paying bill for 1000 watts. Let us say the value of phi is 60 degrees. Then the value of cos phi will be cos 60, which is half. So it means that the result will be 500 watts. It means that we are paying bill for 1000 watts, but we are able to use only 500 watts because our LCR circuit is designed in such a way that the value of cos phi is half. Now, we don't want this to happen at our home, that we pay for more but we consume less, okay? So in order that this part should be equal to this much, we want the value of cos phi to be 1. Now the value of cos phi can be 1 only if phi is 0. Phi is 0. But since we have used an LCR circuit, phi was 0, that is voltage and current were in phase only in the case of resistor. But phi was not 0 in this case. We have already seen the diagram where I drew it like this. This was voltage, this was current, and they had a phase relationship of phi between them. Now we want this phi to be 0 somehow. We want to know how can we do that. So I am just erasing all this, and just in a moment you will understand how can we make phi 0. Now to be able to understand how can we make phi 0, I will have to redraw this diagram. So this was voltage, this was current, this was the angle between them, right? It was like this. Further, we can also write it like this, that if this is, let us say, representing the resistance R, then this would be representing XL minus XC, that is the reactance offered or the resistance offered by the inductor and capacitor. So this line will represent root of R square plus XL minus XC square, right? If this vector is R, this vector is XL minus XC, then this hypotenuse will be given by this. Again, by the parallelogram law of vectors, we can write it like this. And this is known as Z, that is the impedance offered by the LCR series circuit. The impedance offered by the LCR series circuit. Now what we can do is, we can write down that cos phi is equal to cos phi based upon hypotenuse R by Z, or you can write down R upon root of R square plus XL minus XC square. We want cos phi to be unity, and for this to happen, it means we should have R by R to give the answer as 1. Now we will have R by R only if this factor somehow becomes 0. So then this factor will become 0, this R square will come out of the root, will become R, and R by R will cancel and give you 1. So now this can become 0 only if XL is equal to XC, right? And XL is equal to XC means omega L is equal to 1 by omega C, which we have already done for the pure inductive and the pure capacitive circuits. XL is equal to omega L, XC is equal to 1 by omega C. So this is it, which means omega square is 1 by LC, which further means omega is 1 by root of LC, right? So when the applied frequency omega of the AC cycle is equal to 1 by root 2 times of the product of LC, right? At this condition, the cos phi factor, which was a par factor, that will become unity, and this condition is known as the condition of resonance. The condition of resonance. Now, at the condition of resonance, the current in the circuit becomes maximum, and the power that we utilize becomes equal to the power that is taken from the source. So these are the two things that is happening that happen at the condition of resonance. So what is the condition of resonance? Omega is 1 by root LC. And what will happen to the current? We know current is always voltage upon resistance by the Ohm's law. Here we have V RMS, I RMS divided by R, which is the resistance offered by the circuit. If we have taken an LCR circuit, then our resistance will be equal to the impedance Z. So IRMS will be equal to VRMS by Z. But at the condition of resonance, our Z, this is our impedance, will become minimum, because one of the factor which was adding into R has been made as 0. So impedance becomes minimum, and if this is minimum, this is maximum. So the current becomes maximum, and it is equal to VRMS divided by R only, because at resonance Z is equal to R. So this is how we understand what happens at the condition of resonance, and how much is the power delivered to the LCR circuit by the source in one complete cycle. And in the next video we will be learning about the transformer. Thank you.